Good evening, everybody. Evening. If we can, we've got, I'll just give you a quick rundown on who we've got on panel this evening. So if you guys can in the chat, just tell us where you are from. That would be nice. I see that there's still, we've got Quebec, Canada. We've got somebody from Holland, Pretoria, Vicksburg. That's great. South Africa. I'm glad there's some South Africans among us. That's great stuff. Ireland. Wow, lots of people from overseas at the moment. Okay, guys, this evening we want to just review the status quo after the discussions that happened on the second creditors meeting. And I'm going to possibly ask, we're very privileged to have Anton Roos here with us this evening, at least Christopher Roos, the liquidator, is also with us this evening. I can see he's already signed in as well. And we've got Ian Ellis, who is our solicitor of record for the Getaquid group. Then we've got Louis from COGS with us, and we have Anton Lee, who started this whole shebanga many months ago when we went for their provisional liquidation, work with him and with everybody else to decide on the provisional liquidation. And then we've got Advocate Hendrik van Staden with us as well this evening. And I think we have Yolanda. Yolanda, are you here with us as well? Thank you. All right, we have Yolanda with us as well this evening. Okay, everybody. So I'm going to start off just by giving you a quick, little bit of a rundown that we had. I hope you've all had an opportunity. If you haven't, please spread the word and go and watch the YouTube video of the second creditors meeting. Some basic elements that came out of that, we put on record the status quo as far as getting the investors to get the investors recognized, and also that the power that that the lawyers were claiming that there was problems with the powers of attorney of Advocate Hendrik van Staden that we issued to Advocate Hendrik van Staden, but they never communicated any of that information to us. I think we're at a very fast-moving stage. At this stage of the game, there are two issues on the table. We have rattled a lot of cages by our discussion at that creditors meeting. I want to say that the master of the court who chaired it was very much in favor of getting our investors organized and getting them recognized as creditors. The sad thing is that none of that actually happened. Nobody was recognized as creditors. Not a single investor was recognized as creditors. Furthermore, the advocates that appear in the fifth respondent as the fifth respondent, and this is going to be a little bit difficult for everybody to understand because we have today had sight of documents which we can't confirm yet have been registered in the court yet. But as soon as we can confirm the legal status of those documents, the solicitor that is registered as the fifth respondent is is not, how can I say, actually legally, which I believe is not legally entitled to represent the creditors and investors, because he made no representation, also because he made absolutely no representation at the second creditors meeting, and therefore he is not, as far as I'm concerned, and sorry, I have no legal opinion on this, but it's just a layman's opinion, he's not legally entitled to represent us. So we have a number of things that we have to discuss internally, and I will maybe ask Ian, if that's possible, Ian Ellis, to discuss that a little bit later during this evening as well. So there are two main issues right now, which we are working towards trying to sort out. The first thing is actually recognizing the creditors and getting the creditors set up so that the creditors can be represented properly first of all, as creditors, and secondly, that we are recognized as creditors. These things need to be resolved. The other thing that needs to be resolved is who is going to be authorized to actually represent the creditors. It's us. We are the creditors and the fifth respondent in the court case, which is coming up on the 2nd of March. If some patsy of the liquidators is there, or whoever is driving that court case, proclaiming to represent us, I think we have some serious problems. And I think that there is a, how can I say, other interest taking place from that solicitor, and we'll deal with how we are going to handle that as well. If not tonight, because we need to look at the legal position of that and make sure that we know exactly how to deal with that. I may ask Ian to comment. I really will ask Ian to comment on that for us later. I wonder, you have had sight of this documentation at the moment, Advocate van Staden and Ian. Would either of you like to just tell me whether you'd like to comment on that right now, or should we carry on with other matters right now? Sorry, I'm catching you without...
Hi, Chris. No, I don't know whether you wanted me speaking first or Henrik to speak first on this one. I've gotten also just started it this evening. I'm actually considering going, because it is quite a lengthy document, going through everything, seeing what the position in actual fact is. I'm a little bit loath to just make comments off the cuff and to possibly start riling people up or not riling people up in the right way until I've actually taken a look at it in the context. Because in the meantime, all it reflects is that it was a heads of argument, but also at the same time, you know what, I haven't seen anybody else's heads of argument in regards to the matter. So that is just taking a look at one specific side of it. So I'm a little bit loath to just go to make any decisive comments about it now without having seen all of the documents and all the evidence with regards to that.
Okay, yeah, that's why I know you haven't had hardly any time. I mean, this came to us less than an hour ago when we got sight of it. So I perfectly appreciate that, and I think the full implications of that we need to study so that we can give an accurate evaluation. I don't know, Advocate van Staden, have you got anything else you'd like to discuss about that?
No, I totally agree with Ian, and I'll follow him in that regard. Okay. I haven't had sight of those documents yet.
Okay, so I will undertake, the moment that our legal team is ready to comment on this, I will undertake to put out an email to everybody who's interested, and we will at that stage discuss those documents so that we can go further. So I'm not going to discuss that any further this evening. I think it's not opportune. I think that we need to know that that is something that we are going to have to address quite quickly. And because we have circulated a document which we only got hold of this afternoon, or we only had sight of this afternoon, we need to look at that document. I think nobody's really had time to evaluate that. But I do want to stress two things out of that document. Ladies and gentlemen, please, every single person out there, you must understand, if you're an investor, that this situation of the 2nd of March affects you. And what's in that document really, really does affect you. But please give us a little bit of time to go through this documentation and get on top of it before we start talking about it. Okay, that's that out of the way. I then asked Mr. Christopher Roos to come to this meeting for us as well this evening, so that we can discuss a little bit about where we are at the moment. So Christopher, if you'd like to make yourself just known to, thank you very much. Really appreciate the fact that you're here, Christopher, and really appreciate the fact that you've come in to discuss the second creditors meeting and the implications for the investors. I think that's the most important thing at the moment, so that the investors realize what we need to do to get their documentation completed. Okay, so Christopher, shall I hand over to you? Would you like to just start with a little summary, or do you want to go straight on that we go on with questions? How would you like to deal with this?
On unmute myself. Okay. Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Always fine. I think let's just start by a point and get point 1, point 2, point 3, and just discuss some of the terms and the matters. And then I didn't see the other documents, so I can't say anything about that. And obviously it's previous information, so obviously I can't say anything about that. That's all that I can say.
No, so we weren't expecting you to comment.
Yeah, no, I saw there was an email that I saw now. When I downloaded my emails, there's I think 100 to 200 emails that came through. Okay. One thing from my point of view, or what was discussed between the liquidators from the second meeting and prior to that, was how to assist the investors to lodge the claims. So I want to make it as easy as possible for the investors to lodge the claims. So listen, here's access to the back office, here's your stuff, is it correct, yes or no? Either way, get a draft document, and that's what I'll be asking for, is to say, listen, we need this and this and this to verify that. In today's meeting and yesterday's meeting, we've seen people lodging claims which is not correct. So in terms of that, I don't want people to lodge documents that's not correct and relodge them, because obviously it's going to affect our work in terms of getting performance done. So I see there's another guy on here that COGS system, or what do you call it? COGS. Sorry about that. Something about that. But I've seen the system, and I think that must be implemented, and that's necessary in terms of a second option. To say, okay, listen, we received your claim, we'll send you an email, say, listen, you credit number 1 and credit number 2,000 or 5,000 or 100,000, doesn't matter, but we need this and this. So it's either correct or it's incorrect, or you claim for 10,000, but you can actually get 10,000. That's what the back office says, and that's what we're working on. So that's the point of view. I want to understand what, as Getaquid or the Creditors, and either working for the winners or the losers, doesn't matter to me. I want to understand what's your requirements and what do you want. Like I'm going to be honest with you, flabbergasted on Friday's meeting why the Creditors claims was not proven. And that was a shock to me. I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, what now? And I thought to myself, I know there's stuff coming now to us saying, listen, the liquidators, this is a point of view. And that's not how I work. My question is, give me the information, let us process it, see if it's correct, because every claim we must, in terms of Section 45, scrutinize. After the first or second meeting, or whatever special meeting, we can accept your claim. But that is in a certain way public, but not public. In terms of the back office, I know people requested that, but in terms of South African law, the POPI Act, we can't make it just available for everybody. Then everybody can go and look on everybody's system, what's going on. And obviously that's not going to work. So it must be done correctly. That's all that I'm asking. So I want to get a document out, say, listen, and a video, say, listen, this is how it works in all the languages. This is what we want, this is what we need. Then we can accept your claim and we will prove it. That's not the point of the liquidators, is to reject the claims. It's not the point of the liquidators that I had the discussions with, and I'm fighting for the creditors. Say, listen, put your claim in, and if it's correct, 100%, we'll accept it. But there is people that's putting in claims that's not correct, that I've seen today, and I'm busy with that stuff. There's a whole team working on that, and one thing I recognize, I'm going to say to myself, the communication is not correct. So I want to just hear from your side, how can we do it better?
Okay. So my proposal, sir, is that we on the COGS system, we can get the people to register their claims. So they can then, as individuals, each MTI number can register its own profile. And in that profile, we'll put in all the documents according to your specifications. And then what will happen is, once we will do some basic admin to make sure everything is correct for that each creditor's account. And then that will include MTI numbers, everything you will say to us you want on that system. And then we will ask the person if we can release it to you for evaluation.
Okay, 100%. I just want to come on to that. So the thing that we picked up is on the COGS system is to say, listen, your username on your MTI was this. So the way we trace them is on your username. That's the best way.
Yeah. And
or cell phone number or email address. But obviously there was a lot of accounts that use different names or email addresses, and or vice versa, 50 accounts. So that's the problem we're sitting with, is to say, listen, but if you type in the user ID and or cell phone number or email address, it comes down to this person. So is this person legit? Yes or no? So one thing is, we don't want, because now technically anybody can lodge a claim and say, listen, I was 100 million, for an example, 100, and still we must go through it. But the question is, if we put it to the master's office, we as the liquidators must say that we scrutinize the claim, we went through the back office, we verified the claim, this documents, everything is correct, and we as liquidators accept it.
Okay.
And well, then it can be accepted on a special meeting, or technically on a second meeting that was now obviously done on Friday, and then we can accept it. From there on, our plan as liquidators is to say, we're already busy with that. Set 1, 2, 3, everything, to draft the liquidation distribution account to pay the creditors. I know there's a lot of people that are struggling. We get the phone calls, we get the messages, everything, to say, listen, this is our problem. And from the liquidators' point of view, or my point of view, I can't talk on behalf of all the liquidators. I want to assist everybody and say, listen, I know you've got a problem. The sooner we get it done, the sooner it's over, and we can pay you an X amount. Maybe we can pay you 10 or 20 cents or 50 cents in the rand. I'm just an example, but there's going to be money coming in. But the question is, one thing is, there's every day new claims coming in. So obviously it's going to change every day. So we can't say this is the X amount we're going to pay you guys. That's the thing that you're sitting with. Every day it's changing. So from your side, I know that system of yours, and I've seen it, and I know the guys is working on it. So other guys also. So if there's a way that we can do it and
Well, what we can do, sir, is when we're finished, what we'll do is we'll take each person, we'll take the 3 elements which they would have used. I don't know if the mobile number was one of the elements in the original MTI registration. If it was, those 3 elements are on each file anyway. So the 3 elements which were on the file at the time of them transferring the Bitcoin are in our system. And if there is anything else that we need, which they need to put in, we can easily put that in under each person's file. And the thing with the COGS system is once that file is complete for that specific creditor's account, you can go through that and then you can say, right, let's call the hard copy because I'm now comfortable with what I've got. That hard copy address will kick out a QR code along with the original documents, which will then come to your office and then will match up with what you've approved. So that way the client knows what he's sending in has been checked, and if he sends in exactly what he said he's put onto the system, then that file can be matched up with it if you need originals. But as we've also spoken, we are going to ask whether this can be, because the email address is authentic, the telephone number is authentic, and the person's ID matches to the rest of the information that was on your system, then maybe we can get away just with the electronic information. Is that a possibility?
That is, from my point of view, and what I could read through or I saw on the second meeting and prior discussions, everybody wants everything electronic, because I don't think the master's office or either we don't want 200 or 300,000 claims. I mean, that's one claim, 5 documents, plus your annexes, everything. So they want it electronically. So if you can do it on an electronically based thing, all that I'm requesting is if there's a way, because I see a lot of people, if they send the claim documents, they do it in a different format, let's say TIFF format or photo format. So it's not put in correctly. So for us to now go and print 30 stuff or put it together, it's a mission.
No, but you will have access to all that information on your screen, no matter what format they send it in, whether they do JPEG, PDF, or whatever. You don't need to make changes. Our system automatically renders it, so it renders it in that format.
If that goes to that other system, automatically everything is pulled in correctly, and that's all that we want. Because if that document is pulled in correctly, we can go on and say, okay, here's the document, here's the back office, does it match, yes or no?
Yeah.
How does this work? Did you take money in or out? And that's another discussion we'll have another day.
Yeah. So now we can do that. We can generate the report which matches, which will mechanically match our information with the back office, and then you'll be able to look at those things at the same time.
It's going to make it a lot easier for the investors, and it's going to make it a lot easier for the liquidators to look at the claim. So it's not going to take us, let's say, 1 hour or 3 hours. It's going to take us 5 minutes. It matches up, boom, accepted, then it's gone. Okay. And we can prove the claim, and then it's there. We, as liquidators, we're not there to fight against the investors. I think it's a 80 or 90% are legit investors, the people that really lost money. And I'm there to fight for them. That's my cause. I'm there to fight for them. And I want to assist them in the easiest possible way for them to lodge a claim. And I know these people that's illiterate, people that don't have access, people that don't have money to do this. So, like I said, how can we make this better? How can we make this process electronically better and do it better from everybody's point of view? And make it equal for everybody.
Can I ask one question, which I think is everybody's question at the moment? We will, in the next day or two, have a power of attorney available to all the people who are going to be working with us through the COGS system to set up their claims for you. And my question here is, that power of attorney will go to Advocate Hendrik van Staden and Solicitor Ian Ellis. So it'll be either or. It'll be those two. So it'll be a power of attorney to either or those two people. Do you have any reason that we need to give that power to discuss and to clarify all of these things? Do we need to do anything more than that? And are you comfortable that we do that? If we send you the format of the document, will you approve that? And can they act? And then once we've gone through the documentation, when we present that claim to you, and you've gone through and it's comfortable, then you can decide whether you want that in hard copy or if it can go through electronically. Will you be comfortable with that, sir?
100%. As I said, I know Advocate Hendrik van Staden has got a lot of power of attorneys, and I'm not going to fight with him. I'll tell him straight, listen, let's come to the table, let's agree to something, and let's work it out. That's what I want. And I know he's fighting, and Ian Ellis is fighting for the Creditors. So let's make it work. And I don't I have a problem. I said, listen, you can speak to 10,000 people at once and get the right information out. I don't have a problem with it. Do it that way. Fine. And you can give your upline or downline, whatever, the information. Say, listen, or just a normal investor that wasn't part of anything. This is how the process works. Do it this way, and we can sort it out and load your stuff. So there's obviously going to be a lot of duplicates that I've seen now. There was some money web articles that came out. I'm not going to comment on that. So email will be sent to all the creditors. But the problem is we don't have all the creditors' correct information. So I think a system must be set up. So listen, here's my correct email address, here's my correct contact details. Then we can contact you directly and say, listen, we need your copy of this or that. And there's one or two factors that I understand from the people out of South Africa. They say, but it cost me £100 to do a commission of oath or something like that. That can be sorted out. It's done before that in other liquidations that I know of. And there's a way to do that correctly. As liquidators, we know the documents are correct. In terms of section 78.3, we can accept a claim and say this one is correct. So our main point of view now is to accept all the claims, or the claims, second claims, third claims, whatever claims are, and say, listen, your claim is correct. You'll get an email, say, listen, this is your claim number, and we'll do it from there. I just want to get the right information out there. That's my main point of view.
Can I just want to ask Solicitor Ian Ellis first, and then Advocate van Staden and Louis as well, if there's any issues they need clarified around that. Solicitor Ian Ellis, would you like to, have you got any comments or questions?
Thanks, Chris. Well, let me put you this way. If there's anything that needs clarity, and I've heard exactly what Christopher has been actually explaining, you know what, let the parties also just address it to us, so that we can, in actual fact, look to clarify. Christopher's basically given us good an explanation as anything of what could potentially be a bit of a pitfall, but also to go ahead and assist in what we need to go ahead and supply. If there's anything that somebody is not sure whether it should be included or shouldn't be included, let them post it up, and then at least we can go ahead and see if there's a consistency on those same questions, and we can clarify those specific items for the people.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, sir?
No, yeah? That covers it from our side. That covers that one simply.
Advocate van Staden, have you got anything, sir? Hendrik?
Yes, I just want to say thank you for Christopher coming on and giving some information, clarifying some of the things. There's still some things that's not clarified yet, but we will communicate with the liquidators. So hopefully we will get still answers to some questions that are outstanding. But I just want to say thank you. Dankie, Christopher. Dat wordt waardeerd.
Louis, have you got anything on the system that you might want to put to the liquidator that we need to look at in the system, or do you want to clarify anything on that, Louis? Louis runs the COGS system for us.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Now, at the current moment, I think we mustn't go into too much detail in this webinar. I believe that we can get all final forms and what needs and how it should be submitted in a written format, and then we can communicate it once to the people. And that's what the COGS system will allow us to do. We will be able to give proper instructions and documentation through, so that everybody who's asking how should we submit and what should we submit and when should we submit it, that information will be centralized, and people will be able to go to one platform where they find the correct and right information. That is what we're trying to achieve with the system. I think we all grown-ups here. Because of the large number of claims and documentation that's in play here, it really can become a nightmare if you want to do it by hand, and that's why it just makes sense to get it onto a system. Obviously, as we go along, we will do our best endeavors to even code in things that will even make it easier as we go along. I think it's we are at a good stage now where we have the people who can supply what is needed. We will then communicate it through to the people and get it onto the system in a manner that the end users, the liquidators and the solicitors can have easy access and retrieve it at the push of a button. And that's what we're going to try to achieve. But I don't need anything now. I think we can get the final detail at a later stage.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So Christopher, thank you very much. I think I'm just going to sum up, and then you can tell me if I'm making a mistake. From our point of view, we will put together the necessary documentation for each MTI claim as a separate unit. And then when we've got the basics of what you need, we will present it for your authentication and verification. And then whatever comes on that specific claim will then be communicated back to you, from you, and back to the client, so that the client knows what else is needed, or okay, that's fine for now, leave it there, the claim is in a state that it can carry on. And if there is hard copies or other documentation, we can communicate with each individual directly once it's gone through the ratification process. And I think that's basically how I see it. And obviously you will take that information and link it up with the original database to make sure it's all correct.
Yeah. So just from what I've again requested is say, listen, what documents is required? What happens if that I'm going to take a scenario, which I saw today. Some people paid some upline money, they invested into MTI. We need that documents and proof. So I've requested that from the team that's working with the claims. Say, listen, all the scenarios, give it to me and give me a checklist so that I know what you need. And then we can take it and give it through to the clients, and they can do the checklist either online or manually, but it's going to be manually online better, and then lodge everything, and then we can take it from there. If there's something outstanding or not readable, then we can tell them, listen, we can't see your ID property, for example. But there's some of the stuff, and I'm going to ask from your side, get for me 40, 50 questions and answers that people don't understand, that from our side, that we give an explanation, say, how can we do that? In a simple format and not a legal term. So listen, this is how you do it. It's easy and simple. We're not going to use legal terms. It's technically an easy document. And if you don't have let's say, access to your back office, you paid money over Luno or altcoin, whatever the case may be, or to someone. Just give us that document. We're not going to use it in any other way. We just need proof. That's all that we ask. And if you can sort out that, and that will sort out between Advocate Henrik van Staden and Mr. Let's say, listen, this is how it works. Get the correct information out. That's all that I'm asking. And if we get the correct information, we can verify the documents. And one thing is, we as liquidators don't want to pay out money to people that's not worth it. That's not.
Okay, so I think the other question here is, which I see that's come up, that maybe.
Yeah, sorry, I've got it here, but I don't. That's how I work. If I'm with someone, I don't look at other stuff.
Okay. I'm just gonna verbatim this question, because a lot of people come back and they say, okay, Johan Steinbach has been found. How does that affect it? Now, my approach to that is, the only way he can affect it is by increasing the pot at the moment. That's the only thing that's relevant at this stage when it comes to the claim. So the pot can get bigger of what you have already discovered. And I think that's how it will affect it. Whether there's any other, he might be able to clarify certain things on the trading and all sorts of other technical terms, which is not going to make a big difference in the whole scenario at this stage. And there is still quite a way to go before he's going to be extradited to South Africa, to be in South Africa to give answers. I don't believe that's going to happen quickly anyway. So I don't think that's a value. I think at this stage of the game, we must all focus in, because essentially, and this is the way I understand it, from the 4th of February onwards, if nothing else changes in the legal terms at the moment, we have 3 months to get all these claims correctly issued, completed, and cleared by you. Am I correct?
3 months is fine, but there will be another second meeting or a special meeting and another one. There's too much claims. You can't just have one. You can't. There's no cutoff date now. We will announce. Just an example. We will notify everybody. I've had some cases, and I've dealt with the creditors and say, listen, just give me a claim form. I just want to, finalize the estate. And so if they don't give the claim form, we can't process it. So there will be a cutoff date, but there is no cutoff date. That will be announced. Okay. So as from the liquidator's point of view, there is no cutoff date. Please send your claim forms, and please send it in. And that's all that we ask. There's no cutoff date. Everybody I see on the groups and what I hear is, listen, there's a cutoff date or whatever. There is no cutoff date. There will be a cutoff date, and that will be announced. So listen, but from this day on, if you don't lodge your claim, you're out. So I mean, there's been a years and then gone in terms of time-wise, but the liquidators and the people involved, the attorneys, the fraud investigators, everybody, there's hundreds of hours every day, every night, every weekends. I mean, this weekend we're also working right through. There's Actually, we're just working the whole time. It's all time, entire. I'm dreaming about the Bitcoins and the wallets and everything. And we just want to do it. That's our main purpose. And I'm really here to, again, fight for the investors. That's what I want to do. That's anything. So let's get a thing with Hendrik and Mr. Ian Alas. Say, listen, this is the process. This is how it's going to work. Please lodge your claim forms correctly, and we can do it from there. The other fights are, the one thing I just want to say, I don't know if it's correct now to say it yes or no, but if people are busy keeping us in court with other stuff, that's fine, they can keep us there. But it's just time. And we're going to go after them. That's our main mission. That's why we are appointed as the liquidators. We must investigate the affairs of the company. That's why the insolvency inquiries are held. Get information. The second insolvency inquiries are held to verify the information. And then we can proceed. So we are fighting for the people that lost money. That's the one thing I'm going to say. I'm not going to say who it is or what it is. I'm just going to say, it's fine. They bought 6 months or whatever the case may be, but it's fine. We can fight that fight.
Okay. I think the only person who we haven't heard from yet is Mr. Anton Lee. Anton, have you got anything specific you'd like to put on the table this evening? Anton?
Hi, Chris. No, I've got nothing. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Anton. Okay. Yolanda, are you with us? Are you under the attendees? Sorry, let me just see if I can track her now. Her microphone is off. Sorry, I don't see anything.
Okay, I see just one question here is, where must I send the documents? I'll send the information to you. It's mticlaims.008. I think it's number 64 Stella Street, Brooklyn Street, Pretoria.
Mr. Roos, I want to ask you. I think the best way to deal with this, well, this is my opinion, is to put this onto an electronic system.
Yeah.
Make sure, and then you can verify the documentation. Yeah. And if they're having troubles getting it onto an electronic system, somebody asked me, I don't have the facilities. I don't know how to do this. I said, my approach to them is, who brought you into this system?
100%. Thank you very much for asking that question.
And go to that person and say to him, listen, you brought me into this, help me get this sorted out. I don't see why that can't be done, honestly.
You registered me.
Yeah.
You helped me with this process.
Exactly.
Help me get it out of this process. And that's all that I'm asking is because there's a lot of people, and that's one thing that I've seen is a lot of people that's, like I said previously, uneducated, or they don't have the funds, or they don't have the communications or the means to lodge a claim. Go to your upline and ask them to assist you because they brought you into the system.
Yeah, and we will assist people. We will assist people as much as we can. We're also developing a fund for people and asking the people who brought other people in to sponsor the people they brought in and help them, because the fees that we're asking to do this are really minuscule. We're not. It's not a lot, honestly.
Yeah, so it's like 1 or 2 pounds or whatever. It's 20 rand. It's not. Yeah. But for other people in other countries, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And like I said, we will give out the communication. Some of the documents don't have to be commissioned. As long as you know that's the correct person, you can accept your claims. I promise you, we're busy with all the claims, everything, and we're working hard. It's a group of people, and we're fighting against each other and saying, but how does this work? How does this work? We just want to get the stuff done and sort it out. The rest of the stuff, in terms of Steinberg and whoever the case may be, that will come into effect 3 months, 6 months later from now. Then we can say, okay, but here's a second L&D account, here's a third L&D account, that's a liquidation distribution account. Say, listen, we've got some money now, we would like to pay you. That's our main mission, is to get money to the people that's really struggling. Yeah. That's why we won't accept any claims that's not legit. Legit claims we will accept. The other ones that happen in the second meeting, I really don't have any comment on that, but I'm busy talking about that.
Right, just so that everybody, we can go across the table quickly. Is there, Louis, I'm going to just go at random. Louis, have you got any other comments? Just maybe anything else you'd like to say? Are you good?
Yeah, not at the moment, Chris, thank you.
Okay, and then Solicitor Ellis.
No, Chris, nothing. It's clarified.
Okay, Advocate Hendrik.
Chris, I've seen in the question and answer, there's a lot of questions with regards to people who say haven't received emails yet after they register from the COGS system. So if you can just address that in the questions as well.
Yeah, this evening, what's going to happen next is the emails will go out tonight for their full access. That will be sent out this evening.
Sorry, Chris, it will only go out tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, okay.
Yeah.
So they'll get their back-end registrations, and then they can start working on completing their profiles. And then everybody else who signs on as of now or as of tomorrow morning, Louis?
Yeah, can I maybe just quickly comment on that? Up to now, we've been, the people have been registering, and automatically after they register on the pay system, they draw into the COGS system. So all the people that have registered, I can give you the assurance that all of you are already have got a profile on the COGS system. Now that's the first step. You must have a profile on the COGS system, and we will explain to the legal guys later on how we use this whole process to verify that we have the correct person when we communicate back to that person. It's a little bit technical, but I can just assure you that by you guys registering, you draw onto the COGS system, you will then receive a mail with a link that will take you to your personal landing page with your information on there. On that page, there will be some documents specified that you must upload. So when you want to upload that specific document, you click on that, you upload the document, and then the system will tell us, for this person, that documentation has already been uploaded. So yes, it's very, very important, guys, that you must go and register, because if you're not registered, you won't get onto the COGS system. That's just how it is set up at the moment. So once you are set up and you can go to your landing page and you verify your information, you can then start communicating with us through the COGS system that's got a phone app. It's going to make it very easy. There will be people monitoring all the questions and the comments that comes in through the COGS system. And what's very nice about this all is any communication, anything that is uploaded is traceable at the end of the day. With the touch of a button, we can see who lodged a question, when was it answered, who did not read, who did not upload. And before you guys have to send any documents, now it comes all the way to the relevant party. They open it. There's a mistake on this document. We're going to prevent all of that by you guys first uploading it. Various people are going to check it and make sure that the document is right. Now it's on the system, and we can most probably the legal guys will decide later whether the electronic copy is sufficient. But if it's then necessary for the original to be sent, you will be notified to say, okay, your document is 100% in order. Throw it in the mail to the relevant address, and once it reaches that address, even the people who receive it there, they will know that the documents that get there is a correct document. They don't have to contact you again and say, oh, but there's this mistake or that mistake on the system. But I can't stress enough. I mean, there's a lot of questions that I see here. How do I get to the back office? How do I submit my documents? Maybe I'm preaching to the choir, or I'm saying this unnecessary, but if you want to go the way of submitting it through the normal, I think nobody can stop you. But that's the problem. You never have a record. Was it received? Is it there? Is it correct? And that is the problem that we sit with I think, especially where such a lot of documentation is going to go to and fro. So I would really encourage you guys to follow this, to go and register and get yourself onto the COGS system. As Chris said, the first emails will start going tomorrow morning to everybody that's already there. And from now on, the system is set up that as soon as you have registered, a few minutes after that, you will receive the mail. That will take you, there's links that you're going to click on that's going to take you to your own private profile. Only you will have access to that profile. Maybe I can just say one more thing. There's a lot of questions also from people who say, I want to manage more than one account for, I don't know what you guys called it, your down account.
Yeah, the way I've decided, well, the way I thought we should call these is you have a child account. So somebody has a child account because he's managing for his children, so or his dad or his uncle. So we call them child accounts. So okay. You can have up to 5 child accounts under one registration. And then once the lawyers have looked at that, if we need any special authorization or anything, you can file it onto the master account of the child account. And that way we can then isolate when each one of these lines are complete, we can isolate them. And because the liquidators have access, and I can be corrected here by Christopher when I'm finished, because the liquidators have access to the back office, they can see who was the promoter. And then they can see, because on the actual account, it says who was the promoter. Now, if that promoter comes in, registers his child accounts, then that all makes sense now. And the whole thing comes together with what's on the actual MTI. So that all matches up. So I had 4 accounts, which I put in so many people, or 6 or 7, or how many child accounts I had. And then when that now comes back to the MTI, to the liquidator side, that was the promoter. That makes sense. Those are the accounts that were registered under that promoter. Am I correct, Christopher?
Yeah, that's all. It's a process. So we can see the upline and downline, and who was agree, who was under them. And that's a question, because I was going to say some people open 50 accounts.
Yeah,
so,
but yeah, we want to cater for that. We have to cater for that as well.
But as an investor, just lodge a claim. It's either going to be accepted or refused. It can maybe go up or rejected. That's how it's going to work. Because as a liquidator, I'm going to promise you now, there's a group of people that's got 30 or 40 years experience that's working on this. And same as that other process, sorry, I just want to move those questions and answers that I'm busy reading here. Let's, Mr. Louis, sorry, what's your surname?
Louis Jordan.
Mr. Jordan. Let's get the stuff coordinated and linked, and we can look at from there and just say yes or no. I've seen that system, and it's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And submit your claims. And one thing that we want to do, and I fought for it from when I was appointed, to say, let me take the entire back office, create a claim form. You log into the system, it automatically populates your claim form. So you don't have to go and look at your accounts or whatever. It just automatically populates your claim form, like your bank statements, everything. Now, this is what you put in, this is what you got out. And here's your claim. That's my main objective, what I wanted to do from March. And I think it's going to happen. That's the thing. Oh, last year March, sorry. Not, yeah, that's right, yeah. But obviously, I'm just going to say I was blocked a couple of times. And yeah. But I'm trying to do that. I want to make it as easy as possible for everybody. And I think if we can all get together, and the main purpose is to work for the creditors. That's the thing.
Well,
as the liquidators,
yeah.
And that's one thing, and I'm going to say it because it was said on the second meeting. Liquidators are appointed to act on the best behalf of all the creditors. So if you're the bank, you're secured creditor. SARS is preferred creditor and workers. All the other creditors, we see it as concurrent creditors. But all the creditors, we call it crucis creditorum. And Advocate Hendrik Constantine can confirm that, and Mr. Ian Ellis. Everybody is treated the same. They're all seen as the same. One is above the other, but in this case, everybody is here. And we, as liquidators, are treating everybody as the same. I just want to get the correct information out and treat everybody the same. If you're coming 10 Rand or paying you R1 million, it's for us the same stuff. We just want to get to it, and that's our point of view. It's my point of view. That's what I want to get at.
Thank you, sir. And Louis, is there anything else you want to add to that? You want to follow through with that, Louis?
Yeah, I think the people must just follow the steps, please.
Okay.
We'll get the steps right between Advocate Hendrik Constantine and Mr. Ian Ellis and you. We get the correct information out and say, listen, this is what you need. Here's your tick box, ticket, and you're in. And if you don't want to submit that way, the other process is just going to be a long way.
Okay.
That's the correct way.
Okay, thank you. Louis, I think what we can do is, can we set a date for a webinar just around how to use the system? Can we do something like that?
Yeah, we can. I think we can let the people know. Most probably, if possible, earlier next week.
Okay, all right, that'd be good.
Okay, can I get from you guys all the questions and answers? What do you think is relevant, not relevant?
Yeah, no, the main questions and answers. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we also, okay, question and answers, and then in terms of the documentations,
yeah,
what is necessary and what is not necessary.
Yeah.
It just be a standard form, just a tick list. Say, okay, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. So my claim is correct. I can submit it.
Okay.
And
right.
we can cancel out the duplicates, because now what's going to happen is everybody's asking, but who they're going to send it to, what's going to happen. Let's just streamline the process. That's the one, that's a keyword. Streamline the process.
We'll be very, very clear. What we'll do, Christopher, is we'll get a question and answer set. We'll get a set of documents together and send it to you. You can have a look at it, and if you need any changes or additions, we'll make those changes and additions, and then we'll get it out to everybody, and they can just upload it on their profiles. And when somebody's profile is finished, then we submit, and we've checked it, and it's got clear, good copies to read. Then we'll submit it to you, and you will then say, okay, I'm happy, this matches up. And then you can say, all right, now this claim form I can verify on this format because this might be the difference. This is what I'm prepared to take. And you can give it back to us. We can send it through the COGS system and the guy can sign or accept.
And then I'll just inform you guys, and in any event, invest. That's just how I would do it. So listen, we receive your claim. As you allocate the claim number, you can put it onto your system and see if when it's accepted or not. And I want to open a communication. Okay. And that's the thing. Talk to the investors. That's all. Say, listen, this is how it works.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, guys. I think I will see we've been an hour already. We'll get all the other questions together that we've recorded tonight. Yes, Anton.
Just a quick question for Christopher. I see there's a lot of questions about the liquidators that ask for bank statements, all those things. Now, I think that people doesn't understand it correctly. Investor doesn't need to know how much money you've got in your bank. If you have the claim and your claim is submitted, they need to know where to pay you back. The people need to understand that, because now they're fighting and swearing all over because they refuse to give bank statements. It's not about the bank statement, it's about your banking details.
Okay, there's two factors. Number one is the proof that you paid MTI. So you want that proof. So like I said, I can lodge a claim and say, listen, you owe me 10 million. So we want the proof where you paid.
But your proof can be Luna or Banner or whatever BTC transfer.
We just want that proof. It's internal, it's our stuff. In terms of the POPI Act, we must protect that. That's not going anywhere. And the other one is a bank verification letter. That's a thing, is where if we pay a dividend, where must I pay that money to? To whom must I pay it? And if we don't have that confirmation letter, how must I pay the money back? So that's the only thing that we're asking for is RICA, and for our only purposes, if I pay money out to someone and the master or you as a creditor come to me and say, but listen, you paid this guy 10,000. Who is this guy? That's why we're asking for that. It's internal processes and it's a lot of admin, but we're going through everything to verify and scrutinize every claim. Say, but this is stuff, this is a correct person. Yes or no? If it's not correct, we're going to ask you what's the problem. If it's correct, it's going to be accepted. If these documents are standing, we're going to say, listen, you want this one or two stuff. It's not for us to use any other event or for anything else, because we as liquidators are acting as for the creditors. And that is what the creditors must understand. What can I do with your bank confirmation letter? Technically, I can't do anything with that. All I can do is put it in the file. Once you do the payment, I know that's you. And I can pay that money to you. 1 month after that, or 1 year later, you're going to say, but you paid the wrong person. That's why we're asking for that. That's why we're so
pedantic. Pedantic.
Pedantic, Arafat. It's not the correct word, but, we must also act.
Yeah. You must protect the investment that it goes to the right person. That's what it is.
That's the thing. Yeah. It's not to be difficult, it's to do the correct thing. And that's why we're doing it that way. And I really promise you, the guys that I'm working with, they also in it for the same reason I am. And while I'm here, that's also another question.
Okay. All right, guys. Anton, have you got anything else you wanted to discuss?
No, thank you.
Okay. Right, I'm going to wrap that up. If anybody's got anything else, they can put up their hand now, and we will get to all the questions during the course of this next couple of days. We'll try and get as many of them answered in bulk as we can. Mr. Roos, thank you so much for being here this evening. We really appreciate that, sir.
No problem. I really appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me, and I really appreciate it. And like I said, let's work together and sort this out.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Louis, thank you. Anything on your side? You good?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Advocate van Staden. Last words. Hendrik, Ian Ellis.
Nothing from our side. Thanks, Chris.
Okay.
Chris, thank you. I'm satisfied. Thank you again, guys.
Thank you.
And thank you, Christopher.
Thank you.
Anton, thank you. You got anything? You good?
Yes, I'm happy. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, everybody. We've had a lovely evening, and we'll do this again possibly towards the end of the week, just to update on any legal things that might have come up, and we'll let you know by email. If you're not getting emails from us, please register on the Getaquid website for that. And if you've got any direct questions for COGS, we'll put up the emails for the individual people to answer, so that if you've got any queries or questions from our side, we can help you. There's also, with your when we send out your registration, you actually get tuition. We've already made tuition videos as well, how you claim your profiles, and then how to upload your stuff, and how it works on your mobile phone, and how it works on computer as well. All that information is already available behind it, you know, in camera, if I can put it that way. But you get that on registration. And if you've got problems with registration or anything, please, any problems like that, we can help you. Doesn't matter where in the world you are. Doesn't matter where you are. We can help you. Thank you very much again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all the panelists. Thank you for this evening. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. Thank you. Bye-bye.